Today we're going to compare 120 film versus 35mm. Let's jump right into it.
That's sick, alright. Oh, that's actually so cool.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, look at this one. Yeah, it's cool.
3, 2, 1.
Me and a fellow YouTuber friend Mitch Lally recently did 2 portrait shoots, and this was completely out of curiosity to test and see the differences between 35mm and medium format film. Mitch owns and was shooting on the Mamiya RB67, which is a medium format camera. I own and was shooting on the super affordable Canon EOS 50E, which is a 35mm film camera. And we both shot at the full frame field of view of 50mm. So I'll be showing some photo examples as we talk about the differences between these two cameras.
3, 2, 1. Good.
Same thing, just a bit of a smile there. Like, yeah, that's it. Cool, I didn't do the countdown. The main difference between the two might be obvious for some, but not all of you, as it is the size of the negative or the film that you're actually loading into the camera. This is the size of 35mm film, which is actually the same size as a full frame camera sensor. But this is a 120 film negative from the shoot, and since Mitch's camera has an aspect ratio of 6:7, it is double the size of the 35mm in terms of area. We each shot on a roll of Kodak Portra 800 side by side, and you can clearly see that the grain is way more visible on my 35mm shots. So 120 film has much finer grain, even on higher ISO film stocks like Portra 800.
Yeah, saying 1/80th of a second now. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was it.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, 120th of a second. I'm gonna go down to 1.8 now. That's much better. 190th of a second. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Rolling. Got it, that's it. Because the 6:7 negative is double the size of 35mm, you get a lot more resolution. And with the finer grain and higher resolution of the 120 film, you'll notice that it's a lot more sharper and also very crisp. Of course, other factors like lens selection and nailing your focus can affect this, but I've been shooting a lot of 35mm film for weddings in the last 18 months, and I've never actually used or shot 120 film before. And when I download the files from our local lab, I was pleasantly surprised how much of difference there is between the two. The photos Mitch was getting on his RZ 6:7 is very similar to the photos that I get from my digital cameras, and the colors and the grain is what I really aim for in my presets. Just a quick note that all of the film that was used in this video was developed and scanned at our local lab called Laser Lab. They were both scanned with the Frontier scanner, and I did minimal cropping in post. Again, since the 6:7 negative is double that of the 35mm, you actually get a reverse crop factor when you look at field of view and depth of field. So I was shooting on this 50mm while Mitch was shooting on a 105 f2.8. But this lens actually has a full frame field of view of about 50mm. So you have to divide the lens by 2 for a 6:7 negative. You also get the full frame depth of field at f1.4 from this 105 f2.8 lens. This also depends on the medium format camera you use, as medium format cameras have different aspect ratios which will affect this crop factor and field of view and depth of field. This also applies to digital photography for micro four thirds, APS-C, full frame and medium format. You have a calculation to get the full frame field of view and also depth of field. But you actually expose the scene with the same settings, but the smaller the film or the sensor, the larger the grain will appear in your photo, and you also appear to have less resolution. You can probably see that Mitch's camera is a lot larger than my 35mm camera, and in general 35mm film cameras are a lot smaller than medium format cameras. There are smaller medium format cameras like the rangefinder Mamiya 7 or the point and shoot Fujifilm GA645, but in general 35mm is a much smaller compact system and better for travel. You also have a lot more options on the used market to buy a 35mm film camera. Like this Canon EOS 50E, I actually bought this for $30 Australian, which is about $19 USD, which is pretty wild because at the moment I'm paying $40 a roll for Portra 800. And it takes EF glass, which is great as Canon has moved to mirrorless, making these EF lenses super affordable. And this camera is awesome. It has a really accurate inbuilt light meter, it has a max shutter of 1/4000, it has a really great inbuilt flash that I love, and it actually works really well. You'd be surprised how powerful this flash is. Also, this battery is 18 months old and I've never run out of battery, and I'm constantly using this at shoots. And a really big surprise to me is how well the autofocus works in this camera using one shot. You do only have the 3 points for the autofocus, but that's all you really need. And I just use aperture priority, and I halve the film stock. So say if I'm shooting on Portra 400, I'll halve it down to 200. That will overexpose by about a stop to get a finer grain and also warmer pastel colors. And when I need to under or overexpose, I'll just use the EV compensation. I'll leave a link in the description for these cameras. I actually own a couple of these and they're great for my wedding photography. So if you want to pick one of these up, I'll leave an eBay link down below.
Can I have a little bit of a smile? Is that cool? Yeah, that's cool. Alright.
Not in the countdown.
Last shot. That's you done?
That's it, yeah. Oh no, wait, there's one more.
There's one more.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Why I bought the medium format, I think I really like the quality of the negative and I love the film colors. 35mm has a little bit too much grain and it's not quite as sharp, not as much resolution. The 120 is beautiful film, beautiful colors, beautiful resolution, heavy camera, but I think it's worth it.
This video has been a great eye-opener for myself, as I've been really wondering if I should buy a medium format camera for my professional work, whether that's for weddings or my commercial work. And because of this video, I have pretty much stopped using Portra 800. It used to be my favorite film stock, but now when I get the photos back, I just notice how much more grainy it is, and I've been really vibing with Gold 200 and Portra 400. So previously I was trying to separate my film photos from my digital photos, but now I'm trying to get them really similar to each other. And I've also just brought out my V2 preset pack, which I think I've made a very close and fair representation of my 5 favorite film stocks. If you want to pick up the pack, it is linked down in the description down below. Also, if you jump onto my website and sign up for my newsletter, you will receive a free preset and also a cheeky discount code. But I really want to hear from you guys. What film stocks you guys are using? Do you guys even shoot film? Are you shooting on medium format or 35mm? Leave a comment down below. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe, as I'm bringing this Canon EOS 50E to Japan tomorrow and we're gonna have a blast. So make sure you don't miss one of those videos, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.